results of Ms. Heard's evaluation supported 2 diagnoses: borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. In addition to looking for Ms. Heard's general mental status, any psychological issues that were present, I very specifically was assessing to determine whether post-traumatic stress disorder was present, and it was not. Ms. Heard did not have PTSD, and there were also pretty significant indications that she was grossly exaggerating symptoms of PTSD when asked about them. In the evaluation from start to finish, with a 1-hour break and another half-hour of breaks distributed throughout the day.
As a result of the work that you performed, did you form any opinions with respect to Ms. Heard?
I did.
What were those opinions?
The results of Ms. Heard's evaluation supported 2 diagnoses: borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder.
Histrionic and borderline disorder.
Ms. Heard suffers from the personality disorders that you identified.
So there was information that supported it from multiple sources. I conducted testing, including one of the main tests that I used. She obtained scores that were consistent with those diagnoses, and then I also, there was evidence of those diagnoses in her records and in her self-report.
As a result of applying those protocols, what did you conclude?
Ms. Heard did not have PTSD, and there were also pretty significant indications that she was grossly exaggerating symptoms of PTSD when asked about them.
How did you make that latter conclusion?
So one of the strengths of this test, as I mentioned, the important thing about any test used when you're doing an evaluation in forensics is to make sure that the person is responding accurately. And this test does that by not just asking people whether they have a symptom, but asking follow-up questions that draw out very detailed accounts of every single symptom of PTSD. And when you're really familiar with this disorder, which you need to be to administer this test, there are nuances in the way a person will describe their symptoms that have been shown repeatedly to indicate exaggeration or faking. There are also indications when somebody is clearly giving you a genuine response.
Wow.
What, if any, symptoms of PTSD did you observe in Ms. Heard?
So there are 20 kind of core symptoms that somebody can manifest with PTSD. You don't have to have all of them. Ms. Heard initially said that she had, in the first question, you say, do you ever have this, before you get to the more nuanced follow-up questions. When I asked that first question on each item, she initially said, yes, I have that, to 19 of the 20 symptoms. That's not typical even of somebody with the most disabling form of PTSD.
Wow.
When we eventually sort of dialed it down, she had 3 remaining symptoms. And having symptoms of any disorder is common for all of us. Some of us struggle with sleep. Some of us get anxious.
Wow.
It could be several different disorders. It could just be that you have this struggle in your life.
Wow. I mean, if you have time to watch the whole thing, this doctor is really amazing, really bringing a lot of light into the trial. Again, by being histrionic, searching basically for drama, trying always to divert attention on you because you seek validation. With personality disorder, potentially escalating in violence. Actually, it seems the other way around, very clear now, that Johnny is being abused. And of course, this is a match made in heaven in the worst, in the case that, in the way that, I'm not an expert, of course, I'm just sharing my point of view here, but you have one hand, a man which himself is being subjected to abuse since he was born from his, messed up family, from the abusive mother which was going through her own issue. So the guy grew up like that. The siblings, him, grew up like that. And so in growing up, you know better than I do that a lot of time people with issues, they mask those issues, those traumas, into legal, illegal drugs, alcohol, and so on and so forth. And of course, it's not a solution, but that's what people do. I've seen it very, very close to me. Very, very close to me. So it's also difficult to help, a person that it's self-deprecating, harming oneself, But usually those people, they do not tend to, maybe indirectly they're taught it because, like you see a person in that condition, you would like to do something, and you want to help, you fail because you don't know how to help, and you see the person continuing indulging into drugs and drinking, for instance. So that can be tough. But usually you don't see those people as being aggressive or hurting physically other people, sometimes it's a consequence of their behavior, but not directly from them hurting some other person. So again, and then you have this person that has issues, combined with Johnny Depp that has traumas. Mental health issues with the person that has trauma, seems like you find the right victim to abuse, basically, because you need a person that is incapable perhaps to, in a circumstance like this, in a relationship like this, is unable right away to see the red flags and leave, so you can keep abusing that poor guy, basically. And that's exactly what it seems to happen. And now more and more with the deposition of this incredible doctor, Dr. Shannon Curry, it seems even more clear, this whole dynamic. Really, she's reading her like a book, And in a way, I think a lot of people were not surprised, because you could sense it. Sometimes, a lot of people, you see a dynamic, you don't know the psychological terms, you don't know how to describe it, you lack the knowledge, but somehow there is at gut level you feel that dynamic is wrong, because the explanation follows of the scientist, basically. So, wow. I mean, of course, humanly, I feel sorry for both of them. It's not that I hate this other human there, even though she's definitely messed up and has her own issues, which can harm deeply people because of her mental issues, But of course, I don't wish him any harm. I hope that actually people can find some kind of help. I don't know if there is medication or a possibility for those people to heal or to get better, because definitely when a person like this, like Mr. The ex-spouse of Johnny, meets a guy like Johnny, it's not a good match. It's not a good match by any means. So I think this is a turning point. Of course, still have to see where it goes from here, but to have this type of clarification and insight, it's pretty final, at least to me, or for the people watching in general, So when you need something to make up your mind from, then I think this is it. This is probably the nail on the coffin, for this case. So guys, let me know your thoughts, and there are also reactions today, don't worry. So always spread love and healing, and talk to you later. Ciao.